Good morning, friends. Morning of day 5, and couldn't ask for a better day of weather so far. It's just, we've been so lucky with beautiful weather, and we slept pretty well. We're just packing up. We took a little bit of time this morning to pack up. We had 2 coffees. How decadent. And we're just packing up. We've doused the fire, left some fire for the next lucky folks who run into this absolutely gorgeous campsite. And we just have a couple more things to go, and then we're going to be loading in. Our plan today is to make it down to the headwaters of the Nishnawbe River and Prairie Grass Lake to camp out. So not a very long day. Looks like only 4 portages, and we're hoping that they're not too bad, not too rugged. But we've got our saws to cut us through if we need to. We've still been, again, I just cannot count the ways in which we've been so lucky on this trip. But the bugs, there's a few mosquitoes here and there, but like you get beautiful, warm, sunny days like this, and there's no black flies murdering your face off. And that's super lucky. It got down to about 0 this morning. There was some frost on the canoe when I woke up, but we were snug as bugs and rugs. No big deal. Anyway, we're going to shove off and hopefully get a chance to show you a bit of the paddling journey it's very short, over to the portage to Megisan Lake. What do you think, Cher? Ready to do this?
Yeah.
Do this to this? Yeah, it's just no use working too hard to get up that. May as well just take this portage in. Yeah. Like, I think we could get up that, but we'd have to play it right and make sure we're not in the deep water, fast moving channel and all that. So this is just easy little port. So that's what that looks like. I think we were wise to not try to get up that little stream. It looked quaint and cute, but I think it's kind of choked. Yeah, the current was strong as well. We did a nice, easy, super easy single carry portage. It's like a highway through there. All right, Megisan Lake. We're going to do the obligatory visit to the now defunct Megisan Lake Lodge to see for ourselves all the weird artifacts. And some more duckaroonies, babe. Yeah. Shovel holding up the, and there's the lodge up there. The Holiday Inn, it says. Cute. Well, we can get out and check out the lodge and stuff. You want to? Bit of a shame that all this garbage is here. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous site. It's too bad that it's allowed to just kind of fall apart into this disrepair. There's presumably the lodge itself. This doesn't actually look to be in too bad a shape. I wouldn't want to have to be the guy restoring it, but let's check it out. Alrighty. These are good shoes. You could play some hoops in those shoes, man. That's a creepy noise. Shoot some stick. There still looks to be usable cues there. Orlando Corporation must have been the previous owner, most recent owner. They're apparently good at hockey. So they got some trophies. Playoff champions, 1990, does that say? Megisan Lake Flyers. Division C. That is funny. So they had they sponsored a hockey team. Division C, though, I mean. Somebody's unfinished trout sculpture there. Cute little chair. A fair bit of, seems to be rodent poop. Couple fresh cold carlings. Beautiful little stove. Looks to be in good shape too. I don't want to backpack that out of here. Old Brutus, it's enough for me. Ain't that the creepiest looking thing you ever did saw? Jeezy Josie. Poor little beaver. Terrifying. That's nightmare fuel right there. There's Swedish pancakes. Look at it. Yeah. Bottle of CC. Sure, it's empty, so we're not even going to check. Tons of magazines. Lots of readers came through here, obviously. Tons of plates. Wash hands before handling Buster the beaver with botulism. Cooking oil. Perfectly good pans. This is a humongous stove. Jeezy Josie. Flat of Budweiser over there. Fridge. Obviously propane fridge. Did they leave us some buds? Negative. Negative on the buds. What fresh hell is back here? Looks like the maybe the outhouse or servants' quarters. Big old poplar. Well, this is pretty nifty-tifty. if you ask me. Hey, Cher, what do you think about this place?
Yeah.
Fixer-upper, handyman's paradise, as they say.
Yeah. The wooden chairs are pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this was probably a really cool spot to be in its heyday. I'm going to say right around 1990 when they were winning all the dang championships. They made a name for themselves in the hockey world, as well as the fly-in fishing lodge world. Well, that there is the Megisan Lake Lodge. I've actually been wanting to see this for years, and now we've all seen it. Hope you appreciate it. So it took us a little bit of doing to find the portage takeout here at the end of Megason, but we found it. We found this little sleepy guy. Cher almost bopped him on the head by accident with the paddle when we were getting out. But yeah, we found the portage, and here's Kermit. He's just waking up. So here's our portage. Cher's all ready. He's all packed up like a very beautiful mule. And but you try all day to try to keep your feet wet. You don't really go out of your way too much, but try to keep your feet from getting wet. And looks like we're gonna get our feet wet right away here. So second portage of the day, heading into what I don't have a name for this lake. Didn't show up on my map, so nameless lake from Megason. But here we go, getting our feet wet. Yay! So we're on this unnamed lake. That portage was a tough one, and there's two boats that are stored right in the way on the portage. That was nice. But this is a pretty little lake. We're not going to be here long because there's where we're going, maybe 5 minutes, but such a gorgeous little spot. And that was a tough one. There's a couple of really big blowdowns there that single carry was like, that was a tough thing with the pack and the canoe, maneuvering through all the branches. How do you feel, Cher?
I'm good.
Nice. You look good. There's campsites on the next lake, so we could stop for lunch if you want. Sweet. See you soon. Oh, so the portage between the two unnamed lakes starts off straight up the side of a hill, and we're single carrying this one because it's a bit of a longer one, so we want to minimize the footsteps. Holy, that's a good one to double carry. Straight uphill for the first 500 meters. We've leveled off now. I'm going to take a bit of a rest. Here's Cher, looking strong as ever. Also, another fun fact, just as we were getting the packs on our backs and the canoe on our heads, we saw a float plane fly into Megason, one lake away. And so we're glad we're off, because I'm sure with that comes motorboats and fireworks and all the fun things. So we're headed to Prairie Grass we have this portage and one more lake, and then another portage of similar length, hopefully not as hard. And then we're on Prairie Grass, and that'll be our home for the night before we start the Nush tomorrow. So just resting up here, and yeah, I don't wish that on too many of my enemies. There she is. Probably maybe a third of the way back. Not too bad, but it's kind of essential. We can't really mess around without it. But yeah, so this is the portage we just did from there up a friggin' mountain and then over to here. And we're now on that lake. Cher's at the port. Put in, and we are just about to be paddling out, about a 5-minute walk to the portage put in. I do want to show you guys. So here's more of that trail. But the most treacherous part, and by golly, I would not even attempt to single carry up this hill that I'm going to show you. Yeah, so here it is. This trail just drops off a cliff, basically. And in amongst all there's this steep, it probably doesn't, this is steeper than most ski hills are. Probably doesn't really translate via video, but this is steep. Like, it's treacherous coming down just on what, without any weight on, but like, yeah, yuck. Glad we don't have to do that, because that's gross. That's just gross to even try it. Okay, we're almost there. So this next portage seems to be even longer than that last one. But hopefully it's downhill the whole way. And hopefully it's actually not even downhill. Hopefully it's just flat. Hopefully it's paved. And there might be like a J lift on the hills where you can just get on. Just kidding, I don't want to pave the wilderness. So we're just starting the last portage of the day. Another canoe. There was a canoe at the put in here, and here at the takeout there's a aluminum canoe and a boat. So there's actually plenty of people. Aha. That'll do it right there. So it is the Airedale Flying Services. So these are, I'm sure guides have these set up here for when they do fly-in fishing guided tours. So we're headed that way. We're hoping that it's pretty flat and even downhill a little bit. And yeah, one more portage and we're on Prairie Grass Lake and we can relax for the afternoon. All right, we're on Prairie Grass Lake. Sharon and I are looking for an overnight spot. The weather has really changed from a mere couple hours ago when we were on Megason, but it's still pretty nice. Nice enough to go canoeing in anyway. It's a little bit breezier, but nothing that's going to affect our paddling. And the sun's gone away, so I'm not going to get roasted like a lobster. So I think everything's looking up so far. So check out a couple of campsites and see you once we're there and we are in full-on relax mode again. That's my favorite mode on a canoe trip. I don't see any prairie grass at all. It's all just water and trees. Not a single blade of prairie grass. This is a rip-off. Hey friends, back with Sherry and Jay on our adventure. We found, so we're here on Prairie Grass Lake, which was our destination for the day. Trouble is, there are 0 campsites, or at least, let me rephrase that. There are 0 good campsites on Prairie Grass Lake at all. There's 2 Airedale / Ontario Wilderness Adventure something or other. Very much private property, and they're not shy about signage everywhere about that. Don't be here, you grubby granola canoeing backpackists. So we kind of made our way down to the end of the lake. There was a noted one on the map, and I think this is it. But it's teeny tiny, and it's not super great. Not great water access, not great bush access to get wood or anything like that. But it is home for tonight. It's good. Cher is going to make it a home. I'll lug all the rest of the gear up, and we'll get her all set up, and we'll be back at you once we're settled in. So Sherry somehow MacGyvered us a tent pad here through sorcery of some kind, I'm sure. And then I found, just by happenstance, right behind the tent pad, there is a standing dead balsam fir that I'm just processing. I'm going to take it down. I already took the top off it just with a little wiggle. And I'm going to take it down, and then I should be able to process that and get enough usable firewood out of that for the evening, because as you can see, She's pretty thick. There's not too much opportunity to get too much firewood other than this lucky little guy who's right behind us, and he's going to go to good use, and we appreciate his contribution. And there's also this gorgeous white pine right here, way up, and this other one right beside it that are framing our tent for the evening. So we're super blessed with that. So you know it's really warm and unseasonably summer-like temperatures when in northern Ontario, mayflies are actually hatching in May. That doesn't happen. These are usually June flies, mid to late June flies. Shad flies is another word for them. But yeah, I did bring the fly rod, and I do have a couple of mayfly patterns. So when we're on the river, I might take a few casts. Hey gang, so we've got the tent all set up. We've got sort of a little hacked tarp thing that we've got so that the runoff comes out this way. And yeah, we're basically getting ready to make dinner, but we needed a little bit of a pick-me-up after a long day of portaging, and we've got a secret weapon. Sherry, what is it?
It's chocolate that our friend Marcella brought us from Colombia. We have one chocolate per day in our rations, so we get to enjoy that at the end of every day. It's
Es
kind of a nice little treat.
sorprendente. Surprising how chocolatey it is.
Yeah. Gracias, Marcella.
Gracias a ti. So we are about to eat dinner here. Day 5. Dinner time, day 5. Prairie Grass Lake, the smallest, quaintest little campsite you ever did see. And we've learned a lesson. We learned this lesson before, but we learned it again tonight. But it's not like it's a hard lesson to learn. So when you make pasta and red sauce, right, tomato sauce, it looks eerily similar when it goes and you dehydrate it and it comes out of the freezer to butter chicken. And we're having tonight butter chicken pasta with cheddar cheese. Oh, by accident, but it's a happy accident, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we call the mix and match dehydration rehydration method by Sherry Tuck, and we're digging it. So we just finished our fantabulous butter chicken pasta. How did you like it, Cher?
It was good.
It was awesome.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was great. There was a bit more than we needed, but it was amazing. So I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of the campsite. So this is Sherry. She is the mistress of the... You have to listen to everything she says. When she says jump, you say how high, even if you can't jump. And this is our state-of-the-art clothes drying system. I think Whirlpool makes one of these, but this here we just found out in the bush. But it is as comparable to any Whirlpool clothes dryer you'll ever find, as long as there's a light breeze, and if there's sun, it's even better, because everything comes out smelling a bit like cedar. This is our chum, the white pine, and he's trying his best to continue growing, but his toes are all wet because the water's so darn high. Here's our pal, the cedar on the rock, and he is going to give us a couple of his leaves, just a couple, for cedar tea. This may be one of my favorite little buddies, and this is just like junior pine, and he's just in the middle of this desolate rock on this little patch of moss, probably a little bit of soil under there, and he's making a go for it, and I am all for it. We actually took down our tarp so as not to interfere with him even by accident, because he's our pal. We have these two absolutely majestic white pines that frame our tent pad that are just like amazing, like pictures but better. This is our tent. I'll actually show you inside our tent a little bit, just to get a peek into the den of iniquity. So this is where we sleep separately, of course. We're not married, so we have two different sleeping bags and a wall that goes up between us. That's pretty cozy. They call that a 3-person tent. And I'm like, I'm not sure which 3 people. I don't know 3 people that would fit in there, but there's old Swifty, 16-foot Algonquin style canoe, Kevlar, with a yoke, because I am a mule. Here's a couple of pairs of boots drying, hopefully somewhat away, so maybe not. Something that caught our eye. We have another pine tree here. We don't talk to this guy right now, but we're going to show him a little bit more love sooner than later. Something that sort of took us, our conversation took a little bit of a turn here when we noticed this tree, which we believe to be part of this cedar that's on the rock here. When it tipped over and all of its roots came up with it, and it pulled up the moss and everything, with it came a bunch of rocks. So it's kind of neat because you've got these billions of year old rocks that are suspended in midair, essentially. And they're just caught up in a tiny bit of soil and a bunch of roots that this cedar has. And look at that amazing root system that kept it alive for so long. And what else is super amazing is it's got more cedars growing on it in midair. There's nothing connecting that cedar directly to the ground. It's growing in midair, and that is pretty cool. Nature is badass, and we know that for sure because it's kicking ours, and it's been 5 days, but we're not giving up. Now we're as far out as we can possibly be from our car, so we have no choice. We're halfway. That's a good way to look at it. I was looking at it saying, we're as far as we could possibly be from the car, so we have to bust our butts and get home. But yeah, we're halfway. Looking forward to a little bit of whitewater and a little bit of portaging tomorrow. Sherry's looking forward to it for sure. Look at the look in her eyes. Yeah, good times. The Nushtagani. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is not late, but it is bedtime. It is so much bedtime that we didn't even have sleepy time tea. We just finished dinner, had a drink, watched a beaver, learned what a northern water thrush sounds like, which apparently are rare, and they're here on Prairie Grass Lake. And we're going to brush our teeth and hit the hay. Just wanted to say goodnight. And tomorrow we've got a pretty big day of a swollen and angry river. The Nushtagani is going to be a challenge for us. We've got at least 10 portages that we've seen noted on trip reports, and very pushy river. So we're ready for it. We're tense and ready for it. What do you think, babe?
I think we could do it.
I know we can do it. I know we have to do it. My gosh, I've got bills to pay. I can't be stuck out here.
Hopefully the weather stays as awesome as it has been for our trip. It's been awesome.
It has been. I mean, right
and
now,
no bugs.
And still no bugs.
Still
But
no
right
bugs.
now it's kind of gray and caca pee pee poo poo. But it's like whatever. We're going to bed. Let it be. When it's cool at night, it makes us more snuggly, and it just keeps us more sleepy. So it's good. Any predictions for tomorrow? So my prediction, I would like to get all the way through the river and get all the way to Gong Lake tomorrow, if the gods are smiling upon us. And there's that's the northern water thrush, by the way, everyone. That would be my hope. I'd say prediction, but we have up to 2 days that we can spend on this river if we can find campsites. The trouble with this route is finding campsites that'll fit a tent. But I think we can do it.
Hopefully we'll be okay. We had a little surprises coming up the other river with the high water, so I'm a little nervous going down, but hopefully we'll be okay and we'll find the portages and we'll get down safe.
That's the
And
big
we'll
key.
see you at the end.
We sure will. Okay, good night, everyone.